Hi, everybody. Dennis Prager here, and just a couple of more minutes left of my address to the Republican members of Congress. Spoke to about 100 of them this weekend in Baltimore. They meet once a year. And here is the remainder of the address.
It's not a religious issue. You're rewriting my history. It's frightening to see you do that. That's what is happening with Scott Brown. That's the reason I'm raising it. Everybody knows why he was voted in. It was Scott 41 Brown. We all knew why he was elected. But if you read every single left-wing commentator, I had Thomas Frank of your journal on. Now it's rewritten. It has nothing, literally, this is what they say, it has nothing to do with Obamacare. Nothing to do with it. In the Soviet Union, it took 10 years to undo Trotsky. It took Stalin. That was the great rewrite of history. That Trotsky had nothing to do with the Russian Revolution. In fact, there is a picture. It is one of the great pictures of history. You see Stalin and Trotsky and other original Bolsheviks in a photo. When it was re-released later, you see Stalin, a pair of shoes, and the rest of the Bolsheviks. They forgot to get rid of Trotsky's shoes. It is one of the great rewrite mistakes of history. But this is a rewrite of history in 1 week. The man is Scott 41 Brown, and they deny that it was over Obamacare. Why would somebody, in fact, they argue they were for the health care bill. This was to send a message to Washington. I must say the voters of Massachusetts are not only not right, they are truly stupid if they are against Obamacare they're for Obamacare and send the man who will undo Obamacare as a protest on behalf of Obamacare. This is what we are told by the left. So that's number one. There is a massive rewriting of history. Know that you are fighting the left in another way. They are true believers. You must understand this. This is a critical thing to understand. They are willing to lose Congress, in my opinion. Yes. Nancy Pelosi and Harry Reid are prepared to lose both houses to get this through. Because what does that compare to taking over more of the American economy? It is no comparison. And by the way, I could give you an example. I'll bet there are folks on our side who, if they could get an amendment against abortion, as an example, they would be willing to sacrifice both houses for a period of time for what they most believe in. Just understand that as strongly as one may be pro-life, or one may be, for that matter, Christian or Jewish, a leftist believes in leftism. You must understand it as a substitute religion. This is how I explain my fellow Jews. Why are most Jews liberal? I will tell you, and it's a lifetime of study and involvement in Jewish life. I've written 2 books on Judaism. I know my fellow Jews very well. And the answer is that for most Jews, their religion is not Judaism. It is liberalism, environmentalism, feminism, socialism. Every ism except Judaism. It's a tragedy. Why it is true is beyond the scope of this lecture. But it is true for non-Jews as well. Leftist ideologies are their religion. They are not merely politics. You are fighting people who will go down with the ship in order to change this country from what we believe it ought to be. Know this, and you will have an idea. You have to know whom you're fighting. Leftism is a religion.
Okay. I'm sorry? Okay, so we're taking a break here, but the music is not on. It's coming on? Good. Okay. So we will take a quick break. I guess there's about 2 minutes left. And this was my way of trying to explain to them what it is that they are really, that is the Republican congressmen, what they are involved in. They're fighting a religion. And that is why we, who are not on the left, need to make clear that we have more moral, more compassionate, more decent politics. But you can't, but in other words, saying no is more decent than expanding government. People deteriorate. their character, their nature. Look at the underclass. I'll explain more when we come back on the Dennis Prager Show. Here's the rest of my talk to the Republican congressman.
And finally, I have a motto that I now offer to you because this is the ultimate moral case for us. And Hugh was kind enough to say to me that he thinks I should patent it. Okay, it's patented, but use it. The bigger the government, the smaller the citizen.
Ooh, I like that.
That, Prager, P-R-A-G-E-R. No, this is our I have a desire and an ability to make our complex ideas simple. Not simplistic, but simple. That's what we have to do. When a person hears this, they go, wow, and here's how you explain it. It's the truth. The bigger the government, the less I do for me, my loved ones, my community. That is why we in America give far more charity and devote more time to volunteer work than Europeans do. The European knows the government, the state, will take care of me, my children, my parents, my neighbor, and my community. I don't have to do anything. The biggest question in most Europeans' lives is how much vacation time will I have and where will I spend that vacation? That is what happens. You become smaller when the state gets bigger. The dream of America was that the individual is a giant and the state enables us to be as big as we can be. We are each created in God's image. The state is not in God's image, but it is vying to be that. This is the battle you're fighting. You are fighting the cosmic battle in the most important society ever devised, the United States of America. That's why I came from L.A. to tell you this. Because you can forget, how could you not? You are there every day battling, cutting down this bush. You are in a jungle. Excuse me, rainforest. You are in a rainforest jungle fighting it, and I am because of the nature of my work in a little helicopter above the jungle, telling you what it is you are fighting. If America is the last best hope of mankind. That is how important I consider the fights that are going on now, especially with regard to the takeover of health care. How they could, with a serious face, tell us that Medicare and Medicaid and Social Security are going bankrupt, and therefore the solution is to take over more of health care. Isn't that mind-boggling? How does one say that with a straight face? How does one say that to an American and look him in the face and say, yes, we have failed in every area that government has intruded in, and that's why we need more government intrusion. It is mind-boggling. But that is what has happened. People get pettier and smaller as the government and the state get bigger. That's what you are fighting. And that's why I came to tell you this is the proudest moment in my life as a Republican. Thank you for doing what you're doing.
It was a powerful experience for all concerned. I went back to my seat at the dais, and my colleague and friend Hugh Hewitt said, "Look." And I did not realize that they were all standing while they were clapping. And I only tell you this because it means that they knew how important it was to them. That it was an expression. It wasn't about me. It was about the words. They need to hear that fighting the left is a heroic battle for the American future. And it's a tough battle because it's so much more pleasant to say we'll give, we'll take from the rich and we'll give to you. Back in a moment.